Right. Well, it has been definitely very challenging. Um, Last week was a bit of a shock when I started watching the session, but it became so encouraging. It was really lovely to see how everything just moved from being a shock because of our context, which I will briefly explain very soon, and how everything moved to sort of, I don't want to say making sense, but at least to me, well, to me it made sense. And I just need to say that in our little corner of Europe, that's because we don't live the reality of LGBTIQ plus in our cores and communities, at least until now. And there are two reasons, and some of the reasons have already been mentioned by some of you. But the first, and concerning our country, which I can only speak of, which is Portugal, is that we are a very small country with a small army representation, but a good one. And we come from a very conservative, nominal Catholic country, where the topic of inclusion of the LGBT community in church contexts is a non-subject. It's just a non-subject. And in fact, whenever any sorts of talks or situations come up, they're rapidly pushed aside because in general, the mentality is formatted and culture continues to have a heavy impact on this subject. Unfortunately, within the evangelical community, the issue in Portugal is no different. It doesn't change. It's a non-subject in general, I say. I can't and obviously won't speak for everyone, but for me, it's a concern that Christians don't seem to be willing to hear what God has to say concerning the whole spectrum of inclusion, especially to this generation. And our children and youth are being brought up and having to deal with these gender issues. So for them, it's kind of becoming part of the norm in the society to have this diversity, whether because it's friends they know, family, or themselves going through this. And the problem is when they come to us, the church, right? When they come looking for guidance and when they come looking for views, how do we respond appropriately? And obviously, sometimes this response is very personal. But when it comes to being part of the church and within the church context, that's when we feel the barrier in how we respond. And in the last months, I've been learning a lot about how to listen, how to better listen and break the boundaries of what we're expected to do and how we're expected to act as a church, and being more like a follower of Jesus in every sense. And it gives me hope that I'm not alone in this search. When the possibility of this event came up, the majority of the Portuguese officers, definitely all the younger, if we can consider ourselves a younger generation of officers, felt the need to participate and are here. They have been here. So if you talk, practically all the officers from Portugal are attending this event. I think it says a lot. I think it says a lot of how we are willing to listen, how we are willing to be challenged, and recognizing the importance that inclusion, the topic of inclusion, has for our ministries. And even though we may differ in our opinions, even spouses differ in the opinion in this subject in particular, but I feel that we are wanting to see God moving and be willing to listen to the voice of the Spirit in this matter. It's not something that it can't be a non-subject. It's something we have to deal with and that we have to approach it like Jesus would. So I want to listen. I want to understand how to better serve, honor, and represent Jesus in my community, whatever shape that community may take. And I want to be prepared to be more inclusive. So this event has given me great tools, a great platform where we can share ideas, we can share conversations, we can share prayer, and to know that we're not alone and that we can do our part, but we need to keep listening.
Thank you so much, Philippa. And what a great gift we have in this moment to take that posture of listening. And we just echo your hopes and prayers. I'm sure many of us across the Zoom call. So thank you for joining us from Portugal and also giving us a little insight into the Salvation Army in Portugal.